Sex, sex, and more sex. The most common YBAngry issue I have recorded to date is, should she initiate sex more often? But that's not what you're getting today. Today's YBAngry issue is, should he initiate sex more often? And YBAngry family, I've got to tell you, I feel sorry for this brother. Leave me a comment. Let me know if it's just me. This is the YBAngry channel, where we show couples how to stay together one issue at a time, playing YBAngry to settle most any disagreement with the one you love in just minutes. No fuss, no drama, it's just a game. My name is Rod Jeter, and here we go.
Who's going to be player A and who's going to be player B for the entire game?
Okay. You'll be A, B.
Okay. Okay.
Both players will use the This One detail cards to write down all the details to support their position on this issue. Only fill in sections 1, 2, and 3. Use as many cards as needed.
Frustrated, and I don't understand some of the things you do. I can't comprehend. I tell you the truth, I'm trying hard as I can. I'm so confused while we keep arguing.
Working two jobs.
Okay. And it's a 10. So what you're saying to me is you work 2 jobs and you work late.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really 2 details, but we'll let that stay as one.
Yeah, he worked late 2 jobs. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So for step 6 now, you have to decide whether this detail is or is not true in circle 1.
This detail is, and I have 2 parts to this answer. True, Monday through Friday. And I don't bother you Monday through Friday.
Okay, so you can
So
say
it's
it's not. So she's saying the detail is not true. As you can imagine, it's hard for 2 people to resolve an issue if they can't even agree on the facts.
Right.
How relevant is
I
it?
mean, it is true that he works 2 jobs. But it's very relevant. I would say it's relevant on a 9.9. I said, I agree you work 2 jobs. I do my best not to bother you. I initiate on weekends.
So what you're saying to me is that I don't exactly work. I don't work 2 jobs every day, so therefore on the weekend, on Sundays, and some Saturdays, I guess you would say, I should initiate.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you agree that I don't bother you through the week?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. I agree that you don't bother me sometimes.
So it is a bother to you?
When during the weekday, yes.
Okay.
Being that I leave out at anywhere between 5 o'clock anywhere between 6 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then I'll get in to about 11:30 at night.
Okay. And I'm usually asleep.
The amount of time it takes me to sleep, I mean the amount of rest I actually get during the weekdays. And then on Friday nights, I'm getting up on Saturday mornings to go to work down in Spartanburg. So then,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And it's times when sex doesn't have to be involved. But if I'm touching you or touch you, then you assume that it's going to be sex. And so that bothers me.
I do. You're right. I do assume. But I'm working on that. So, and as far as that goes, I've discussed with you that I like to, when doing this, when it comes to sex, I like it to be unexpected, spontaneous, or what. So I like to surprise you with it instead of when I make a move, you automatically know that's what we can really do. I want it to be unexpected, so therefore it's fun, challenging, and
Okay.
Exactly.
I feel better because I know you may want to, but you just don't want to be tired.
I said I feel better because we openly discussed it.
Okay. Yes.
Whether you
think it was progress made
progress with
on
this
that
detail.
question.
So you said yes?
I said yes.
Okay, so you circled yes, so it's both of you guys.
Yes.
And then the next step is, did we win the game? Do you feel like,
No.
do we feel like it's settled?
No.
Okay,
No.
so that's a no. So if we haven't settled, why don't you feel like it's settled?
Because it's still like, we was talking about the jobs and initiation, and even though you understand that I'm saying I understand you work 2 jobs, but like when I put on there, you don't always work 2 jobs, and a lot of times, even when it's just cuddling, you don't understand it. It's just cuddling. Or if it's a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you're still in your own little zone at times.
And just in case you're saying, what the heck does he have on his head? I bought a new boat today, baby, and I'm going fishing.
Tired, that was a part of that though. It's a 9.8 because he's tired. It's his detail.
Well, let's handle it. That's his detail. Okay.
Okay. Tired.
Yeah.
And that's you got to tell her how relevant that is.
I'm tired. And that's a 9.8.
Okay.
So what you're saying to me is you don't initiate sex more often. I'm not saying you don't initiate it all, but more often because you're tired.
Yes.
Okay.
This is or is not true.
That is true.
Okay.
Because he'll just he'll fall asleep talking in mid-sentence at times.
Okay.
So it is true.
And how relevant is this to you?
That's a 10. I understand that you are tired, and I'll take that into consideration.
So what are you saying to me is that you're willing to work with me on the you're willing to give me more time to rest or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Check yes. And now you guys would discuss it, whatever you need to say about this.
I'm tired sometimes too.
Okay.
And I always feel like when you initiate it and I'm tired, I never say no or push you away. And when you push my hands away and you push me away, that's hurtful. But because I'm not that way, I guess that's why it's more hurtful. And I don't understand the reason you do that, because it's times that I am tired, but I don't say no. And I've been busy and doing a lot. But you initiate and you want to when you want to. It's always a yes. But if I initiate it,
Okay.
I should totally understand.
And it's with me, it's because I know I haven't been giving you the attention. So then this one, I'm making that effort to give you that attention sexually. And yeah, so when I'm reaching or I make the initiative to have sex, that's because I know I haven't been giving it, and no matter how tired I am, I just have to stop and go ahead and make the initiative so you know that I am attracted to you, I love you, and I'm not doing anything that you have to worry about.
Okay. And that's the reason that I say yes when I'm tired, because we don't sometimes go a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then I will say, okay, well.
Okay.
I feel better because we both understand and we are willing to give or take with that situation of you initiating sex. I feel better because I told you how it made me feel, and even though I think you know that, but I told you how it made me feel, and that it may be okay, like if I tell you no, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to tell you no because I do want to, and I don't want to tell you no either because I think as far as the role, you know, when you talk about the roles that men and women play. And that's just a part of myself feeling like that's just the role I play. And then I know at one time before you were saying, well, when we were married or we staying together, like you used to tell me like when we just dated and we all saw each other not that often or we see each other weekends or whatever. Or when you were living here, you would say, well, if you know, with me daily and you try, you wouldn't say no. Or you wouldn't push away when I asked you that before. But you still do. You still do that. But you remember saying that?
I do remember.
And so that didn't change. But I do feel, I mean, I do have an understanding of you being tired. And so we both are willing to give or take a little bit.
My day-to-day routine of work and stress. I'm working 2 jobs. I stay going all the time. I'm not thinking of sex when I come in. So, of course, that's probably, I'm sure that plays a part in it too. Because when I come in at nighttime when I'm in, I'm thinking of what I gotta do the next day. And next day and a few days after that too in my head. But then when I wake up in the morning, it's always been a routine for me to think of what I gotta do that day and remember what I need to get or whatever needs to be done that day ahead of time. So I'm ahead of myself once I start my day. So then, like I said, being tired, coming in, working late, tired, coming in, and then only having 4 to 5 hours of rest in between there to go on to the rest of my days plays a role in why a major role in why we not having sex. Now I love it now when we do. Cut up when we do, but yeah, so I will do better.
Okay.
14.
Yes, we both agree. And
Did we win the game?
yes. You feel we do?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So this was settled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was good. How long has this been an issue?
So like I said, a year before we moved in together. I moved in here June of 21. So when we were dating in Spartanburg, I think it wouldn't have started till like around a year after we were together, around 19, 20, and it wasn't. And then we still only saw each other mainly weekends. Through the week, you know, we both worked every day, so I would come over Friday and stay a weekend with him. And then it started getting where maybe that Friday, you know, you may not want to have sex. And that was fine, but then the next day you didn't either. And then we'd start talking about it a little bit. And then you said, well, we get to living together, it'll be different.
So how long has it been then?
2 years.
2 years. It's been an issue for 2 years. And so you guys settled in about 25 minutes, I guess. And what do you think made the difference? How did they? Obviously, the game helped, but how did the game?
Talking deeper about the issue.
I agree with that.
Talking a little deeper about it, being a little more open.
Yeah. A lot of it had to play with, had a lot to do with issues that was going on.
I think what I'm trying to figure out now is how
how did the game help you settle this in 15 minutes? What about playing the game made you resolve this compared to the last 2 years?
I can tell you because I was forced to sit down and sit still and listen.
Okay. And listen.
And listen, yeah. Being forced to sit down and sit still and listen. Whereas, had not this, I probably would have come in, turn the TV on, put it on CNN because I got to watch my news out there online. And in the meantime, I'm winding down while I'm watching CNN. I'm thinking about what I got to do next. And I'm thinking about all these other things that's going on that need to be dealt with or whatever. So, therefore, it's taking...
Now, have you tried to talk to him about it before?
Yes. And we will do the stopping at the, well, you know, I work 2 jobs, I'm tired. And then, so some of the feelings we said, like a lot of things, and he said it knowing that when he said, I do want you and I do that, because he know I've said to him, well, I feel like he needy. Don't want to feel like I'm begging. Those are some things that I wrote on the other cards. Or feel like to feel to be wanted, even though I am a person. I feel like I have pretty high self-esteem, and I know who I am as a person. But still, when you had a person that you're with, your life partner, and you are committed to that person, and then it's hard to understand why they may not reciprocate or feel the same way. So this game forces you to become empathetic. So through empathy, it's not throwing and not listening. This game wants you to tell the person, I hear what you're saying because you're saying this to me because, and I want to be sure that's how you feel. Because many times you say stuff to people and that's not what they're thinking at all. Right. You know, my perception of what you're saying is not true. So with this, it forces you to write down or say what you're saying, because what's in his head or in my head can be totally two different things, depending on just what the situation is. Right. So this is a game of empathy, because you have to understand and hear what the person is saying. And then also take down that guard of feeling what you're saying is not, it's silly or it doesn't matter. And then you agree on what the other person is saying.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So both of the cards we did were his cards. So I don't know if it would help you or help you guys to just read what the other cards are or not. I don't know. So
yeah, and that does help sometimes.
Okay.
Here.
So go ahead and let's go through the next cards real quick.
Okay. It just says, I don't feel. This is mine, okay. Player B. It was a 9.8 of relevance. And one detail is, should you initiate sex more often so I don't feel as if I'm a bother to you?
Okay.
And we kind of discussed that during our cards. Okay. So.
She's aggressive.
What does it say?
Aggressive.
She's aggressive.
Okay.
I'm aggressive.
She's aggressive sex driver, so it's like she.
It's that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She told me it's in the age thing.
Is that what it is?
Because we can go at it and then, you know, she might want some more afterwards. And I'm like, hey, we just got through. You know, what if for a pretty good little while, just smile. So
okay. All right.
But it's funny because when she do it, I'm really laughing because I'm feeling like, yeah, there, you know, you put it down.
You know, the time.
But I'm saying, I'm like, I can't go no more now. I'm close to 60 now. My daddy said after 50, you're supposed to kind of glide. You go in high drive, you run out.
You be running out.
I run out for 60, so I got to make sure.
So you scared. You trying to hold it on up. Then that's when I remind you that my uncle and them was 70-something. They still be going there.
Yeah, right. My dad was 75 and he was still going. So I'm
okay.
So you trying.
Yeah.
And I don't, and that's funny because I don't feel like I'm aggressive, but
okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Was that was the aggressive one? Okay.
And then you said.
And then the stress of the kid.
stress of your children,
Right.
thinking about
Okay.
your children. It's why you don't initiate it, because they're on your mind. Is that what you're saying?
Just like last night, you came down here. I came in. I stopped and got 2 beers and came in and sat down here and listened to some music because I had my daughter on.
Until I came downstairs just to check on you.
Yeah.
And then I went
You
right.
went on back upstairs with the baby, but you came down to check on
Okay.
and the baby. She always want to know what's bothering me.
That's good.
I feel the same way. I want to know what's bothering her as well. I kind of felt bad yesterday morning because I have a routine when she gets up to go to work in the morning. Because she leaves out when it's dark, I go outside to see her off and wait till she pull off first before I come back inside. Just a safety habit. Yeah. And yesterday I was so tired of what, so yesterday I was supposed to been up anyway going out the door, but I ended up sleeping, staying late. Couldn't get out of the bed.
Gotcha.
And I think it kind of bothered her too yesterday morning that I didn't do it. So,
I mean, but you text me and apologized. Really,
Yeah.
I said I don't feel needy when you initiate sex. And we talked about it, and that's a 9. I put. And
I said bad timing. And that goes right along with being tired and stressing and all that stuff. So.
I said I feel closer to him when you initiate sex. Put an 8.
Oh, so that's why you going there, huh? Okay.
And I feel wanted. We talked about that. And I said he is the man. And then, so I don't feel like I'm begging. I talked about that.
Well, good. I'm glad you guys were able to come to an agreement on that and
That was pretty good.
get past that one.
Now, guys, that YBAngry issue, should he initiate sex more often, seemed very similar to the should she initiate sex more often. I'm going to leave an end screen. Click on that, watch should she initiate sex more often, and let me know if you see the similarities. Until next week, YBAngry, just play.